Hello and welcome to the official Watchers YouTube channel, here in Jardin du Mayfair, heaven on earth for the watch enthusiast. I have one of my favourite wooden boxes today. Of course it's a Patek. Let's have a look and see what we've got inside. Guys, just a very quick one to say, up to 80% of you aren't subscribed. The channel is growing, but please do hit that subscribe button so I can keep these videos coming fresh and hot every week. Okay, so you've waited long enough. Here it is. It's none other than the Patek Calatrava Pilot's Travel Time 5924G, which is in white gold with the blue dial. This is the watch that we saw at Watches and Wonders. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you check it out after this one. Now this is a lovely Patek, which tends to quite undeservedly so fly under the radar. Now Patek isn't usually associated with pilots' watches, with that particular segment of watch collecting usually being covered by the likes of IWC and Zenith. But in 2015, the brand dipped their toes into the air rather than the water with the reference 5524G. Reception was mixed, largely because the release was unexpected, and those used to either fainting at the Nautilus or marvelling at the grand complications didn't really know where this precious metal sort of sports watch designed for pilots that also had a travel time complication. Basically, nobody was expecting a Patek Skydweller and didn't quite know what to make of it. Nonetheless, this addition to the Calatrava line continued to bubble away almost behind the scenes, and a new pair of pilots, this time with both travel and flyback chronograph complications, were released in 2023. One variant was introduced in military-toned khaki, and one in an almost petrol-like sunburst bluey grey. And it's that we've got our hands on today for this review. Okay, let's get her out and have a little look. Now, this watch caught my eye at Watches and Wonders straight away because, as you know, if you're a fan of the channel, and I hope you are, these kind of sizes drive me wild. I prefer the bigger pieces, and being white gold, this is an absolute box ticker for me. It's a very pleasing chunk of 42mm white gold case with sapphire front and rear, really well loomed Arabic numerals, and it also features a date subdial at 12 and small seconds at 6. Both the main and subdials are highlighted with silvered rings, which make for an absolutely lovely contrast and, in my opinion, make this dial the slightly more interesting option over its completely monochromatic khaki sibling. However, I will say that you could go no wrong with either. As per usual, local and home time and day and night is indicated through cutouts in the dial. The hands on this piece are finished in bright white for super legibility. That is a hallmark of a pilot's watch. Local time is shown on the main handset, while home time is taken care of by the skeletonized GMT hand. The case is rated to 30 meters water resistance, which is a bit on the paltry side, but explained by the two holes on the left of the case. One is for correcting the date, and one is for setting the travel time function. The chronograph on this one is a flyback, which can be stopped and reset using just the lower button. The movement sports a column wheel and vertical clutch, which means that if you're not a fan of using small seconds for reference, you can keep the chronograph running with no loss of power reserve or timekeeping. The watch is mounted on a really soft navy blue calfskin strap, which tones in really well with the dial. Now, I think it works far better as a casual piece on calf, but my guess is it wouldn't do too badly at a black tie bash if it made an appearance on alligator. So the watch is a bit of a hybrid between smart and sports. The only two gripes I have with this is the water resistance isn't great, and that the subdials are cut considerably into the 6 and 12 markers, to the point where only a quarter of the numbers remain. But realistically though, I don't think it would be possible to design such an informative and legible dial without taking over some marker territory with the subdials. So I concede that it's a bit of a give and take that has to occur to pack in all of the details without the end result feeling like beans in a can. Overall, the Calatrava Pilot Travel Time Chronograph is a great piece by Patek. It's generously sized, so nothing feels cramped, and it's supremely legible. The white gold adds a lovely weight to the piece without making it appear unbalanced or top-heavy. The two complications are extremely useful rather than present just to flex manufacturer prowess. And if I had to think of a complication combo that I would personally use during my lifetime, it would be this pair. It's also not your usual Patek, and I think that can sometimes be a really positive thing if you want to move away from the mainstream must-haves and wander off into your own horological direction. It runs exactly the same movement as the venerable Nautilus 5990, which I found extremely interesting. But it's at an entirely different and infinitely more accessible price point. Guys, I'm just going to come out and say it. This is added to my grail list. I absolutely love this watch and I have to own one day. It's such a cool piece. All my colours, it's all my size, and I would love to know what you think of the watch. The best part of these videos are the comments from you guys as to what you think about it, so please do let me know. So, on to the meat and potatoes. As I said, this has a $59.90 movement inside, but there are no $59.90 related prices here. This watch is £54,000, which I think is extremely good value when you're talking about white gold Pateks with open case backs, complications coming out the wazoo. This is an incredible watch. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode here at Jardin du Mayfair, heaven on earth for the watch enthusiast. You keep the comments coming, hit subscribe, and I'll keep these videos coming every single week.